Today I'm going to be talking kind of vaguely about Starcraft 2 rather than anything in particular. But I've done these drills and I've played around 70 total ranked games. Really not many. And I am in Diamond 2, which is pretty cool, though I lost a couple games in a row doing some stuff. But I am in Diamond 2, which is somewhere or peaked around 80th percentile at a game that I think is very difficult. And again, I've really not played a substantial amount of time, considering like tens of thousands of games people put into chess to be like 30th percentile. So I'm really happy with my progress, but I have some clear strengths and some clear weaknesses. One of my strengths is I am good at constantly producing and I remember to do so. These drills have been really good for that. I am good at production. I am worse at production once I get a bunch of bases. I don't have a good sense of how to spend a lot at once my income is really high. I don't always keep up with that. So, longer games, I do not maintain my production as well, but I'm quite good at 2, 3, and maybe early 4 base production. Maybe 4 base production as well. But as the game extends on, I get worse at that. I am also good at doing precisely what I'm supposed to do for short amounts of time where I can have prepared what I'm doing. I'm good at the things we can drill, that we can practice. I'm not good at anything else. I don't control my units well. I understand some interactions a little bit, but I'm not fast doing what I'm supposed to do, even when I know what it is, and I often do not, because I do not know how lots of units are going to interact, whether to go in, whether to pull back. I don't have a sense of where opponents are likely to be weak or when, so my decision making is bad. And if your decision making is bad or even just slow, you're going to take too long deciding and you're going to do things way too slowly. I don't have enough tools in my range. For instance, when I play the marine bio stuff we've been doing, I'm not used to doing drops where you use medevacs to pick up units and drop them around the map. Things like that, I'm not comfortable doing. I don't do quickly. I need to practice. And we can practice that, and we will practice that. But I'm listing my weaknesses. Incidentally, when you're playing a game, you want to find your weaknesses. How else are you going to improve efficiently? Having weaknesses and identifying those weaknesses is great. We're all going to have lots of weaknesses, especially early in a game. And if we can start identifying them, this is excellent. Like, it may sound like I'm complaining, but in fact, I'm delighted to have things I'm bad at and things I'm aware I'm bad at. Because I'm obviously not great at this game, so I'm obviously bad at things. And the better I identify them, the better I do. So, listing your weaknesses in anything you're trying to get better at is so useful. And people have so much trouble doing that because we have giant egos. And I certainly do. But I have now assigned some of my ego to a skill is being able to identify your weaknesses so I can feel good about saying I suck at X, Y, and Z, and here's things I might do to work on them. And I think that's just really useful to getting better at almost anything. And things that I don't get better at tend to be things where I either have trouble identifying what or where I'm doing things not right, or I'm not willing to put in the work on those things. And I think that's going to be true for most people. So, another weakness is because I don't understand units and a lot of different units, the longer a game is, the more variety of situations I'm going to be thrown in, and there's only a quite narrow range of situations I understand particularly well. So I have done much better with all in builds, not just because all in builds are kind of good and people are not great at defending, so they're kind of, you're going to get overrated the more you do these all in builds. Sure, yes, agreed. But it's also because I can do a tight, good version of them and then get used to the one interaction that basically happens, or the very few, there's more than one, but the very few interactions that happen. And that is a much narrower tree of things I have to know how to deal with than like the 50 billion things that could happen in a longer game. Now, this is to say I should eventually learn to play those longer games, but I can most efficiently get good results by avoiding that happening. So the builds that have done best for me are generally one base builds, even though I tend to outproduce people on 2 or 3 base builds. I tend to get outplayed in decision making and in control of armies, even if I'm outproducing. Um, but one base builds, I can be producing at least as well as they are, and then handle the interactions and the decisions better, and I can win those games. While 2 and 3 base builds, I win a lot fewer games, or whatever you're rated, you win around 50%. But my rating is significantly lower playing these 2 and 3 base builds. And as an example of this, if we look at Terran, I am Platinum 2, but I've dropped to Gold 1, and I got up to Platinum 2 playing a 1 base build. Zerg, I'm up to Diamond 3, dropped to Diamond 2, again, trying to increase the number of bases and the length of game I was playing is dropping my rating. There's a reason both of mine I am at risk of losing my rank, and I will lose my rank, I won't get back there, because I am trying to do more difficult and longer games. So we want to eventually get there. I haven't played any on Protoss, I don't think, because I suck at Protoss. That's okay. Uh, so what am I trying to say? It is easier to do a tight short-term build, and at some point soon I'll put up a video of the quick builds I like. I did a lot of testing. I'm kind of proud of the work I put in. I found a bunch of Zergling rushes. I tested a bunch of them. I then looked back at the replays and checked how many units I had at different amounts of time, and I figured out which one A I was performing most reliably, but B which one I believed most in the unit production I thought would be most effective. So like one of the builds I think might be good against better opponents because it kind of hides what it's doing better. But my opponents are not strong enough to be reading that well into stuff like that, so I'm not too fussed about that. But I did a lot of like I practiced each build enough to get one decent replay in it, and then I compared times and I figured out which one I wanted to learn, and then I trained that one, and then I got good results. So I guess what we're gonna do today, I'm gonna play a game of Zerg. This is gonna be a drill. This will be a Zerg drill. Um, the idea is to sort of, it doesn't commit you to anything. It's 5 non-committal minutes. It's 5 minutes where we get up a decent base from which we could go into almost anything. In those 5 minutes, we're going to get 3 bases up. I don't have an exact build order here. I'm kind of be winging it. I haven't actually practiced this drill at all, so I may well fail it, for instance. But we're going to try to get 3 bases up. We're going to try to have at least 50 drones between our 3 bases. We're going to try to have at least 20 Zerglings for safety, at least 4 queens, 1 at each hatchery, and 1 extra spreading creep and for general safety. And the idea is we're going to try to have a big economy and enough Zerglings and queens that we're pretty safe to attack. Queens cover air, Zerg covers ground. And that we can move into anything. We're also going to have a Baneling nest up. Zerglings can transform into Banelings, which are little exploder sacrificial dudes that are hard to trade well for with early units because they will roll into you and do a lot of damage and die but take you out. And they're really good at defending early attacks, and they can also be good at doing early attacks. We're going to be getting them up just to make sure that we have defenses. If the enemy comes in and we're having trouble, we can start going to Banelings, and those will usually end up holding early attacks. So we're going to get that up early. We're going to try to have 2 evolution chambers up early so that we can start our upgrades. The goal is not to have any upgrades by the 5-minute mark, but it would be nice if we'd started them. We're going to get ground armor and 1 of melee or missile attack we're going to start having upgraded. If we go for melee attack, then you're planning to stay with this Zergling Baneling army or something like that. If you go for missile attack, you're planning to start adding roaches or hydras or mutalisks or something with ranged attack. I don't think mutalisks. Those don't get boosts from ground attack that Evo chambers have. Anyway, I forget what stuff is, but the idea is we're going to get 2 evolution chambers up, 1 for defense and 1 for attack on whatever we think our unit's going to be. We're setting up Ling Bane, but we're setting up Ling Bane to make sure we can survive with our big economy. We don't have to commit to it, though we certainly could. Anyways, what else do we need? We're supposed to have Baneling Nest. Oh, we have to get Zergling Speed pretty early, so our Zerglings can hold more stuff. Zergling Speed is the best Zergling upgrade. Yeah, and we're just going to try to play a pretty tight game by the 5-minute mark. We'll do it custom against a easy AI or very easy, whatever, just so they don't interfere with it. But maybe then we'll do it once like this, and then we'll do against the elite AI. Maybe we'll try to do it as well and make sure we can, just if it throws anything at us, maybe we'll tell it to do a timing rush. We'll try to survive because that might be difficult. We're going a big economy, but hopefully we can survive. All right, it's taking a sec to load. But yeah, I think that describes, let's set them to economic focus just to make sure they don't interfere at all. But that describes what we're going to try to do. I think this is another decent Zergling drill. It's also pretty short, or Zerg drill, and hopefully I can do it first try. Probably can't. At some point, I'm going to learn how to place overlords. I haven't done any look on that. I have some videos saved to watch on that, but I haven't done any research on how you're supposed to place your overlords on the map, because they can be useful scouting, and they can also drop creep, which gives you vision of the map and lets your units move faster. But I haven't looked into it. As I said, I have a very narrow range of skills, and I like those skills, and I've liked working on those skills. But we will have to add to them eventually. So I'm going to start by making a new drone, hotkeying our hatchery, sending our overlord behind their base just to scout, and then I'm going to start mashing 1SV to make an overlord when this one finishes, and we'll put it here. All right, we can start the overlord. Now we're going to get to 14. You can do your hatch and your gas and your pool at the start in almost any order, sometime between the 16 and 18 mark of supply. So I try to do 16, 18, 17, where I get the hatch at 16, the gas at 18. So we're at 16. Now, over here. Now we're going to wait to get up to like a little over 200 minerals. Let's grab a guy, bring him over here, and he'll make a hatch. As soon as that's done, we're going to go back and make our gas. Oh, no, I probably should have made a Zergling or two more first. Oh, well, there's not huge differences here. So we're going to get up to, sure, 17's fine. 18's also fine. Let's do an 18th. And probably should have been faster on that, but I wasn't sure how many. Make sure to fill our gas. And grab our spawning pool. If we timed this out better, I timed this out very poorly, but that's okay. Then we're going to make Zerglings till, drones to like 21 or 22. And then we'll save up so we can pop queens when our base is finished. And we'll make an overlord at maybe 21. All right, let's do it around now. We get another, let's send our things here if we make any more, just because we're saturated. Make an overlord, and we'll just save up. This should finish by the time that guy gets done. And when the pool gets done, which would have been a little faster if I'd done this build properly, but we can time it, so then we pop queens at both bases, make a few more drones, send the overlord over here. We're going to get Ling speed, that's very important. We'll pop a few Lings for safety. We're going to keep droning. And now we're past the 30 mark. It would be nice to get our third hatch up soon. So I'm going to pull you and send you over to our third, around 200 minerals. And that's our third. Now we're going to keep droning. We're going to get our injects with our queens. We should get lair. Oh, we're supposed to get lair. So let's get lair started. Maybe another pair of Zerglings. We're going to have to make an overlord soon as well. It's a bunch of things happening at once. I'd also like to get another queen started soon. But I guess we'll keep droning up. One more pair of Lings as well. I'd love to get a queen here. Let's inject first. Inject both bases. Get another queen. Send you out of the way. We're droning. And I'm going to need another overlord. Yeah, this hasn't been super precise. Make a few more Zerglings. Alright, we'll get another overlord started, because we'll probably need it, and maybe another by the time the previous finishes. Alright, we can inject. Make a queen at our new base. I'm going to send everyone over to the new base. The queen can start making creep. A few more Zerglings. How many do we have? 10 right now. Alright, more drones. And, oh, we're supposed to have a Baneling nest. I forgot about that. Let's make a Baneling nest here. Maybe we should get another gas, but I'm going to get my evolution chambers up. Spread creep. You can inject, drones, inject. Maybe another zergling. Get you out of the way. Drones. Maybe I should have another gas going. Injects. Hey, we hit the time. I forgot to get my upgrade started. Let's go this and this. How many zerglings did we get? We got 20. Nice. Counted correctly. Alright, this is a very bad AI, so we'll just attack with our dronelings. I should have sent all my zerglings here. I thought I had. And I made a couple extra zerglings I forgot to send over. So I should put some here. Doesn't need quite that many. And let's make a few more drones, some zerglings. We'll rally them across the map. Not going to worry about the attack because this is just a drill. You can see my supply has exploded. I'm going to drop down, I guess, a macro hatch here. The idea of this, we'll just make a million things. The idea of this is to just be able to produce more. And if we have extra minerals, I think this is a good thing to do. Do this. We're going to hit injects. Hopefully our attack is winning. I don't know if it is. And we'll make just a bunch more zerglings. Just for fun. Oh, the problem is they have a mutalisk. That's annoying. Just for fun, let's press E a couple times to make some banelings. What are we killing? Let's go attack. And if we wanted to, for instance, switch to hydras now, we should get down a hydra den. Injects. The important thing is not winning this game. The important thing is that we'll take our fourth. The important thing is, all right, there we go. The important thing is at the 5-minute mark, did I hit benchmarks, or was I close to them? So we'll I go to units, and we'll go to the 5-minute mark. And if I was pretty good on my injects, which I think I was for the first 5 minutes, I started missing them later, and decent on continual production. You can see my money's getting a little high at this point. I should have bought the upgrades at the Evo chambers. I had forgotten to do that. And maybe put down a 4th hatch as a macro hatch. And I didn't split up my workers very well. I meant to rally every worker to here, but I forgot to. And that meant I had some extra workers here that weren't being useful. So these just finished. I could start the upgrades now. That'd be great. I did have enough zerglings. I had 22 zerglings. Did great there. I got my 4 queens up. We were pretty good on injects. You can see we're out of energy. We're out of energy. We're low on energy. Like, I did pretty good on injects. I started spreading creep. This was all pretty good. We got 47 drones, not quite enough. I should have made 3 more drones. Okay, we didn't quite hit that benchmark. I was also a little late. We should have the baneling nest up a bunch earlier. So I was close, but didn't quite hit the benchmarks. So I'm going to do this again at some point and hopefully hit the benchmarks, but I wanted to do an example of it. I think that's all I'm going to do. I don't think I'll play against the Elite AI today. I mostly wanted to talk about how I think I am good at the drills I've done train you to be good, but I am not good at the things they do not. And so the question is, how can we take these drills and extend them? Incidentally, your APM will always be higher with Zerg. Don't worry about if these numbers seem high. Or, to many of you, these will seem low. But the thing is figuring out how to do drills that will improve what we're doing. So trying to add in, like, control of specific units. So what I should have done, and if I was used to the build, I would have tried to do this, is watched our army while it was attacking while continuing to produce at the bases. So I would have gotten the Evo chambers up, maybe thrown down a couple macro hatches, and made sure to hotkey everything, and then focused on the attacking units, making sure to tell my other units to rally in, and making sure to keep producing, but mostly focusing on controlling the Zerglings. And one thing I'm aware you want to do with Zerglings is say there's like a group of 6 enemies. If you attack move onto the enemies, your front line of Zerglings will run up and start hitting them, and then the ones behind will slowly circle around them to try to find a point they can attack, and you will waste a lot of attacking time. And a better thing to do is click to move past the enemy, and then once some of your Zerglings are past them, you press attack move anywhere. You don't even have to click the enemy units. You shouldn't click the enemy units because now they will be essentially surrounding the enemy and they will get a surround where all of them are attacking at once. So it'll take a little more time before your first Zerglings start attacking because you're letting those ones run past. But by letting those run past or sort of stream past in the way they move, you let all of them get more time attacking. And there's not the wasted time. You get a surround, and you really want to get a surround when attacking with Zerglings. So getting more used to controlling that kind of thing, and even against the very easy AI, you can practice doing that because you can still practice, like, even if they don't have near as many troops as they should, you can still run past those and get the surround, or have half your troops run past to get the surround. So I think there's lots of stuff we can practice usefully, but we got to figure out how to start doing it because I think there's only so far you can get with some ability to follow instruction, but no actual skill at the game. And someday we'll try to get past that. All right, I think that's all I got today. Might take a second to let me end the video. So, awkward silence to close out.